supposed to be a 25-minute race. It was shortened to 20 because of some incidents in practice and then previous race, and because of weather, and because everybody sucks. But I'm starting on the second row of amateurs, way in the back. I'm literally the furthest thing back, period. And for this race, I've got a couple of stories. I've got a couple of maybe a lap walkthrough if I can manage it, and so on. So everybody's really excited, but that's just the experts leaving. We're starting second wave. So let's get going. Flags up, and I actually get a somewhat decent launch. This is not awful because it's basically myself right behind Ryan, who's really fast, but he's a Loudon guy. He's never been to Jersey, and he's kind of still finding his way around. In practice, he was running like a minute 40s, and during the race, he actually managed a 37.8, but I'm not sure if that was catching a toe or when he managed that. I don't have that information. So I'm kind of just sitting behind him, kind of thinking like it's a long enough race. It's 10 laps, maybe more, depending on how the experts do. And I'm kind of just sitting back there thinking like, where can I work him? Where can I work him? Where can I work him? And this goes on for a little while. Like coming into turn 7, I'm like, can I get him up the inside? I don't want to do that. Can I drive around him through the 7 to 8 thing? No, let's just be safe. I don't actually need to pass him. I mean, I do, but it's almost better to just kind of hang out behind him for a little bit, get my bearings, use him as a carrot, use him as I don't know, some kind of marker or whatever. I can always motor him down the straight or something. His bike is actually really quick, but what ends up happening is I end up getting on the power a little earlier, so I end up a couple of miles an hour faster at the end, towards the ends of the straights. So he's working very well. I'm actually kind of impressed. I'm kind of hanging around near him. I'm not running the best lines right now just because kind of looking around him for where maybe I can dive or something like that. But anyway, so Ryan's story is actually pretty interesting. A couple of weeks ago, his wife just emailed me out of the blue and says, "Hey, do you do sponsorships?" And I'm like, I'm a hobby at best. Like, if you want a discount on something, just like message me and like throw me a lowball offer on some bullshit part. I thought that was really funny, but at the same time, I mean, okay. And then I finally just work him on the curvy straight. So the interesting thing about between 7 and 8, 9, whatever, it's a straight, but but it doesn't look like it. Basically, if your knee's not on the deck, you can get on the power, and that's according to Ryan, because he kind of tried to chase me around. Basically, I was pulling on him there every single time, and that's just because it might not look like it, but it's a straight. So from here on out, it's actually a kind of lonely race because all I really see is some backmarker experts. Not a whole lot of action going on, but this weekend off track had a ton of action because last night, so Friday night, I pull up to the track, I don't know, like 7 p.m. or whatever. And the second I unload everything and set up my canopy, the thunderstorm of all thunderstorms shows up and just starts dumping on us to the point where like My canopy's dead. My friend Robert's canopy, he was in the Summit Point video, I was chasing him. Canopies are dead. There's like rivers running through campsites and all sorts of mess. So everybody's miserable. All my stuff is soaked. My gear is soaked. My trailer, which is usually pretty waterproof, is somehow still soaked inside. Not sure what's going on with that. But we wake up and it's hot. So we went from drowning to hot to, and later on in the day, they basically shut the whole track down because of lightning and thunderstorms. Not sure what the deal is with that, but I'm guessing we'll make up those races tomorrow. So catching up to a back marker, I think he's on a 300 or 400, so I just kind of motored past him. Not even much of a pass. Just kind of like, okay, you're there, and now you're not. So anyway, kind of now we're roasting. Before we were drowning and shivering. So kind of an interesting day. In the middle of all this, Robert, who apparently got promoted to expert, which is, congrats to you. That's awesome. But now I'm starting 15 seconds behind you, and I don't have anybody to chase. So he ran a 35.8 in this race, which is awesome. Because once again, my best lap here was a 36.7, so I'm always a second off pace, off the guy I want to be chasing. Maybe if he stayed yellow, I'd chase him around, and it wouldn't be such a lonely race. So in front of us, we have Kurt running around. I don't know. I guess like these are longer races. Maybe it's a fitness thing. Maybe it's just a pace thing. But like, he's not a slow dude. He's just, I'm gradually reeling him in. Whatever. Might be just motor too, because I have 85 horse bike and he has a stockish bike. So I'm kind of reeling him in, and I'm kind of realizing nobody's really coming from me from behind, because nobody has shown me a wheel, nobody's trying anything. So I'm kind of thinking like, alright, so I'm catching up to him. He's probably a little on the tired side. I don't want to just kind of dive bomb and, kind of squeeze in a spot that doesn't make sense. So I'm going to kind of hang out behind him, see if he makes a mistake. Maybe if he makes a mistake, I can just kind of get him. Give him some room, and maybe I'll just work him on power, because power I have aplenty. So kind of hanging out. He's actually, honestly, he's running better lines than I am. He's very smooth. He's very predictable. Kind of missed the apex there. Maybe he was afraid of an apex predator. I don't know. Apex predators can be kind of scary. So I try to go around the outside of him. He's having none of it. I was like, cool. We're not giving each other space. We're actually going to fight for positions. Whatever. Doesn't matter. So he runs super wide. This turn, you want to really stick to the inside curbing. So he runs super wide, and that kind of kills his drive. And I'm just going to try to eat him up on the straight. And let's see if that actually works. Yeah, we've got motors. Thank you. I think this is a Kubelos motor that I'm running. It wasn't. I bought it used. It was Chris Heiser's old bike, and yeah, don't even need to work for the passes. So that's kind of awesome. Anyway, somewhere in here, and I'm pretty sure this is after my GoPro decides that it no longer wants to be a video camera, it just wants to be a brick. But somewhere in here, I managed the 36.7. So I'm going to try to kind of narrate a lap, just so that I can also refer back to itself. And I mean, you can almost think about lines and everything else backwards because the front straight starts at turn 12. So we're in 7 now. I guess this is 8, kind of. 8 is a straight. I guess this is 9. Or 10 and 11 or something. Anyway, so the front straight starts right here. You want to hug the curb on the left, kind of like I'm doing right now, because at that point, if you you don't really have much of a right turn, and it really is basically pinned. The R1 guys, you know, the superbike guys, are going through turn 14 at like 130 miles an hour, faster than an SV can go, period. Unfortunately, I have no balls, so anyway, I'm braking at the 3 now, kind of running a swoopy line, so I turn in way early. Turn 2, on the power, no brakes, just roll off. Turn 3, trail brake into it, hit the apex, flop over. Turn 3B, hit the apex, and as soon as you are on the power, 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 I could definitely do more power, but no balls. A little bit of a break for turn 4, and quite a bit of break for turn 5. I can't figure out if it's one or two downshifts. 2 downshifts gives me a better drive. As I'm going through turn 5, I'm looking for the number boards for turn 6. Turn 6, also no brakes, just roll off and get right back on. The fast guys are doing it full throttle. Turn 7, where we just went through, trail brake towards the apex, brake at like the 1, it's barely any braking needed. This is one big straight, kind of hit the curbing on the right, swing out, brake, and then hook this turn. Once again, and we're back to the never-ending left turn 11, which sets you up for 12, 13, 14. Just the better you do 11, the faster you come out of 14, and the faster you arrive in turn 1. So, just something to think about. Once again, I'm not the fastest guy. I am 10 seconds off the SV record, which is horrific. I keep screwing up turn 1. I keep turning in way too early, but I'm trying to run a swoopy line. Turn 2, I can use a little more throttle. There's plenty of, it kind of really opens up. Turn 3, I can trail brake a little later. Turn 4, right around here, I should be getting on the power and staying on the power. It's a little bumpy. I mean, the entire track is a little bumpy. It's Jersey. It hasn't been nice in 10 years. But none of the bumps really upset the bike that much. So the thing I need to work on, I know I need to work on this, is holding more throttle through turn 6. Because this is really a ballsy corner, is just kind of like sack up and turn the throttle all the way. Once again, I could probably hammer on the throttle a little bit more in this turn, not turn. Run out a little wider, get on the brakes, kind of trail brake in. Missed that apex completely because, you know, apex predators are scary. There might be some, you know, apex predator hanging out. Not much of a turn. I think somewhere around this lap, I end up actually kind of motocrossing over turn 13. Not a big deal. It also doesn't really do anything to the bike. But yeah, so this entire time I was looking at my lap timer, which somehow I don't have the data off of. Don't ask. I'm awful. As a software developer, I'm awful at technology. Why is that a thing? So the GoPro's mounted like I don't know how to screw a GoPro to a bike. The lap timer, while I can download data off of it, I can't. And I can't ride for hell. So I don't know. Whatever. Maybe things will get easier with more practice. Next guy who tells me that's a MotoJitsu reference gets a ban from the channel. Yeah, not a big fan of Moto Shiatsu. He's kind of, I don't know. slow. Let's just say slow, and not elaborate any further. So, anyway, coming up, I've lost count what lap this is, but right on the white flag lap, my GoPro decides that it no longer wants to film. So, it's still running through here. Now, notice those big clouds. Those big clouds over on the left, they turn into really, really, really dark clouds in about 2 laps. Okay, so there's the white flag waving. I did eventually finish this race first. Very lonely first. It really kind of didn't have anything to do. I didn't have anything to do after passing Ryan. But those clouds turned into a massive thunderstorm, which again destroyed some easy ups and moved Robert into my trailer out of his tent. Oh yeah, one more thing I wanted to mention. So my friend George had an interesting moment today as well. He ended up needing to swap his kid's SV motor, and he swapped it with a flat track motor. Well, today his kid found out that flat track motor did not have 5th or 6th gear at all. So, because they didn't need it, so I guess they cut it out. They removed it for rotating mass or whatever. But yeah, so he was trying to run around with 4 gears only. Probably a really good way to get fast in the slow sections, but absolutely nothing for the front straight. Anyway, so my camera is going to cut out shortly, and with that, I hope you enjoyed this rant, chat, I don't know, whatever. If you want more, hit like, subscribe, all that happy stuff, or leave me a comment. No, don't mention Moto Shiatsu.